Hello, friends. Good evening. We are really excited for tonight's Zoom call, and it is good to see your faces. Obviously, we have some really important content to get to, but before we get to that, I just want to remind anybody that's on here for the first time who doesn't know us. My name is John Lammers, and this is my beautiful wife, Duquesa.
Hello, everybody. So glad to see you this evening.
And we are Blue Diamonds in doTERRA, and we live in the hill country outside of San Antonio, just for reference, because I know a lot of you are in other places of the country and in the world. So we're excited to have everyone here, especially for this class content in which we're going to be going over a new class script, which
I'm so excited about it, you guys. This is something that has been so needed, and it is really going to up-level what we're able to give to our customers and the success that we see in our businesses. So I'm so excited.
It's true. It's true. This is going to be huge. I think that a lot of us have been looking for something like this for quite a while. So I think we're ready to go. We're just going to dive right into the material. I would definitely encourage you to have a pen and paper or something to take notes with. All right. So a couple notes before we get started. I want to make the point that I'm going to be presenting along with a few other leaders who are on this call. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute those of you who are presenting with me. Let's see, I just found Kate Keck. Kate Keck is here.
Hey guys.
Hey, Kate.
Good to see you. Kate, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yeah, my name is Kate Keck. My husband Jason and I live in the San Antonio area as well, and we are super excited, you guys, for us all to have this class content. We can't wait to dive in.
Absolutely. They are good friends of ours and platinums in doTERRA. We also have, let's see, I found Donna. Donna, you're now unmuted.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
I am a gold wellness advocate with doTERRA, and I live outside of Austin, and I'm very excited to be here with you guys tonight.
She is, and I know she is because we've been working hard on this. And we also have Audrey Charba. Audrey, would you introduce yourself?
Hey, Audrey Charba. I am a Diamond Wellness Advocate coming to you from Round Rock, Texas, Central Texas area. Glad to be here. Really excited.
All right. Thank you, everybody. All right. So a little bit of background on this class script. I'm sure a lot of you that were on the call with Presidential Diamond Stephanie Martin have been especially hungry to find a class script to memorize, master, and then just repeat, because she gave such a powerful testimony about how she just learned a basic introduction class. She memorized it like verbatim, and then she just taught classes. She taught so many classes within her first year, just memorizing that script, just the basic introduction class, that it vaulted her into the higher ranks of doTERRA. And so since then, a lot of us have kind of had this renewed urgency to get a really good class script. Now, unfortunately, a lot of those classes that used to exist online, like on YouTube and whatnot, don't exist anymore, because there was a lot of content that was taken offline in 2016 after the FDA came in and said, hey, we want to have greater compliance and not making drug claims, etc. And doTERRA just kind of as a blanket movement asked everybody to take everything offline, which was kind of drastic and was kind of a lot. And so unfortunately, a lot of those classes don't exist anymore. However, this is not the end of the world, because thankfully, we already have one of the best class scripts on the earth. In fact, a little backstory to that. Last year, I flew to Prague in the Czech Republic to spend a week training with the highest ranked wellness advocates in the company. That would be Elise and Patrick Sedevi. And they, as a part of this week-long training, gave us their system and their class that they used to teach, and that they went through great, I would say, lengths and expenses to develop a really good, really powerful class script. And so what we've been doing is about for the past week, I'm not kidding, we've put in over 100 man hours on taking that class script and adding all the little pieces of information to it to make sure that you're able to use it seamlessly with the correct resources and with the verbiage that we're all used to. So I'm incredibly excited to be able to give you what I fully believe is the best class script, so that we can all memorize this, master it, and do exactly like Stephanie Martin did, and just teach a lot of classes using the best class script available. Now, another good friend of ours also went to that training. Donna did, and so I'm going to ask Donna, would you share your perspective on going and getting that training and getting this class script?
I'm happy to do that, John. Thank you. I guess I want to tell you guys that if you don't know me, I'm one of these down-to-earth, tell it like it is kind of people. So I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to be real with you guys, okay? I've been part of doTERRA I signed up just over 3 years ago. I decided to build pretty much 3 years ago or so. I didn't know what in the world I was doing. I tried this and tried that. There were so many voices. I don't know if you guys have ever felt this way, but there are so many voices telling you what you should do. There are so many people who know the answer and give you this thing or that thing or whatever. And nothing was complete. And nothing was tested. There's too many systems. It's very confusing. You try this, it didn't work, not the way you were told it would, you know. It wasn't duplicatable. How can you trust the source? Is it too expensive? I mean, there's some great systems out there, but you have to spend all kinds of money to buy all these supplies, to do all these DIYs and everything else. And there's a cost too. When you do that for too long, it costs a lot of money. If you keep trying and you're not actually successful to be able to earn enough, there's the emotional cost, because your hope goes up and down and your confidence goes up and down. You lose builders because people that want to succeed only had a certain amount of time to do this, and then they're done and they're not listening to you anymore, and they got frustrated. And for me, with people on my team who are looking to me to succeed with doTERRA, how can I tell them that this is going to work when I haven't done it myself? I don't know that it's going to work. And I have been incredibly frustrated, or not quite incredibly frustrated, for a very long time. And so when I had the opportunity to go to the Czech Republic and to learn from Patrick and Elise Shedevy, who make lots of money and are by far the most successful and are incredibly generous people, and they gave us a complete system. It's tested and tried and proven, and it works. It's simple, it's duplicatable, it doesn't break the bank. You do have to spend a little bit of money on some supplies, but you guys probably already have a lot of the supplies. I can teach my team now with confidence. I know this works. I can tell them it works because it's proven. I feel good about what I'm doing. I'm clear. I'm simple in what the instructions that we're doing. It has been a game changer for me. Not even so much with my team, although that definitely, but in my own head and as far as my own confidence level. I feel like if I sit down with somebody and they say they want to build a business, and they actually do, you know, lots of people say they do and they never do a thing, but I mean the people that actually do, right? I feel like if I give them this system and I train them on what to do, and then they don't do it, that's on them. Rather than wondering if it was on me all the time. Oh, maybe I should have done this, or I didn't do that very well. This system makes it easy for anybody who follows it to succeed. And I just am so excited that John and Duquesa wanted to incorporate this for all of you guys. And I'm super honored to be here to help you with what I have figured out. So.
Awesome. Thank you, Donna. This is really, really, really valuable, as she says, and we're just going to dive right into it at this point. I do want to make the point, though, as she said, this is part of a broader system. This is not a standalone piece. So you're going to notice that as we're going through this class, right? You're going to notice that it's referring to somebody being properly sampled, for example. And you're going to need to know that there's other training that you're going to need to get on how to do that sampling properly. So we will be doing trainings on that, the other components of the system, but right now, this evening, we're just focusing on the class and the script and why we're organizing some of the things in this way in the class script. It may not be just as you are used to. It may be a little bit different. However, I want to encourage you to be open, because this class script works. And there may be points at which you're kind of hearing how the class runs, and you're like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'd be totally comfortable saying that. I also want to challenge you at this point to, instead of changing the script to fit your mindset, change your mindset to fit the script. Because the way this is worded is very, very intentional. And there's some points in which you're being direct, but it's being direct to help that person. And a lot of times when we have fears about that, what the net result is that we are not helping the other person in the way that we should. So that's kind of my little preliminary notes on the script before we dive into it. I do want to make the point that as we go through it as leaders, you're going to hear 3 different types of text. Okay? First of all, there's script, which is italicized and in quotation marks. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see the script as well. But you're going to hear it. And Audrey is going to be reading the script. So her voice is always going to be connected to what you should be saying in the script. Okay? You're also going to have notes that are bullet pointed. And these notes are describing or making commentary on what should be happening in the class. You're also going to have notes that are in parentheses, which are actions. And Kate will be reading both of those actions and bullet points so that you know what you're doing and kind of why you're doing it at certain points. And then at certain intervals, not very frequently, but Donna and I will pop in and explain. We're going to expound a little bit about something that might seem kind of different or out of place so that you know exactly why this is happening in the class script. So those are the 3 types of script you're going to see: actions, notes, and the spoken word of the class. So that's it. I'm going to make sure Donna and Kate and Audrey, if you are unmuted, I'm going to switch to screen share view. All right, can everybody see this? Okay, fantastic. So we have our Intro to Essential Oils class 3.0. 3.0 is so it's distinguishing it from other classes. There's a lot of introduction to oil classes. We want you to know which class we're talking about, hence 3.0. In a little while, we're actually going to insert an audio recording of Audrey reading through this class, and that's where you're going to see that in that yellow training class link. That's where that will pop up. Okay. I'm going to dive through a couple of these successful class tips before we get into the rest of it. First of all, we want you to hold these class presentations in a distraction-free environment. The reason for this is this entire class is predicated around you having the complete attention of the people in attendance. So, in other words, you don't want to have kids and pets running around and not even have elaborate displays or even handouts. You don't want anything standing in between that person paying attention to you as you're presenting during the presentation portion. Okay, so that's going to be a little different for a lot of us who've been used to having a lot of handouts and big elaborate displays. You're going to want to keep the class to around 40 or 45 minutes or less. It's really, really essential that this is a short class, otherwise distractions set in and people will just stop paying attention. It's okay to advertise that the class will take about an hour and a half, because once you build in the time for them to enroll at the end of the class and maybe a brief presentation about the business side of doTERRA, that could take an hour and a half total. But your part of the class wants to be about 40 to 45 minutes less. You're going to want to have at least one Trained, we're saying trained wellness advocate, meaning somebody who's familiar with this style of presenting, and especially when we go around at the end and are helping people enroll. We need them to be trained on how to do that. 1 to 4 is the best ratio you can get. If you go too far outside of that, what ends up happening is that people at the end of the class will not feel attended to, and some of them will leave because you won't get to them quick enough. You're going to want to keep this class simple. Simple is key, or it will not duplicate. You always are going to want to have the host introduce and edify the speaker. So obviously, if there is a host, they should be the one that first comes up, does a brief welcome, and edifies you if you're the speaker. You're going to want to say something along the lines of, they're going to say something along the lines of, they're a wonderful person, they've taught and helped many people, etc. You're saying something positive. Class handouts are not given out at the beginning of this class. To reemphasize that point, it's given out at the end of the class so as not to distract the attendees. If they don't show up, this is a little note, if they don't show up, follow up ASAP with people. If they didn't show up to a class, make sure they're okay, right? You want to assume that they were coming and that if they didn't come, something might have happened. So check on them quickly. 2 very important notes on this class script model. You want to be very intentional with what you're doing and very practice. You don't want to just wing it and see how it goes. So put in the work ahead of time and come prepared to give them the best of you during this class. It needs to be the best 45 minutes of their week. That's your goal. Remember that having good energy is vital to the whole thing. I don't care how good the script is. If you stand up there and deliver this like it's the most boring thing on the face of the earth, nobody's going to be interested. Energy is convincing. Energy is exciting. Energy is attractive. So energy will sell. Make sure that you get this script down to the down point where you have it memorized, and then you can deliver it with passion. That was another thing Stephanie Martin was talking about. All right, we've got a list of supplies that you're going to need here for your class, and Donna is going to take you through that list of supplies.
All right. So it's really important, especially if you're going to attract builders, that you don't carry in 15 million boxes of displays and this and that and everything else. You want one simple bag that you bring in, and you want everything set up in a minute or less. That is attractive to people. If you walk in with 15 bags, or you have to make 3 trips to your car or whatever, people go walking away. So they're not going to want to do what you do because it's too complicated. So whatever you need to bring, if you need to buy a special bag or go get a rolling cart or something, that would be one thing that you bring, that would be great. That's the best way to do this. You're going to want, we call it on our team the minion. The minion is your helper. The other person who's there to help you with the class is not exactly teaching the class with you. If you need to bring a bag in and the minion needs to carry a bag also, then do it that way. That's fine. But one bag as best you can. Here's a list of your supplies. You're going to need your essential oils, Lifelong Vitality Pack. What I like to do for that is to have the empty box with the 3 empty bottles on the inside. And I take 1 day's worth of each one of those LLVs and I put it in the bottle in case people want to know what the pills look like or how big they are or how much they take. But have that LLV box there with the empty bottles inside. Fractionated coconut oil, get the doTERRA kind, don't get some other brand, use the doTERRA fractionated coconut oil. You could optionally have, and actually I would really recommend this, as many of the products from the Natural Solution Kit that you can afford, or if you have empties of, or if there are other people on your team that have empties of those products from the Natural Solutions Kit, have them for display only, but not front and center. They're going to be on the side somewhere so that when it comes time to talk for the kits, about the kits, people can see what's in that kit. You'll want 10 sample oils to be given out during the class, and that means the little 1/4 drams that you can get. You can get them, I think you can get 5/8 drams from your back office, but you can get 1/4 drams like on Amazon or oillife.com or any of those places. You're going to have 10 of them, and we suggest that you have the following, that we suggest that you have the following 10 oils that are preferred in the different ones, so that when you're going to have giveaways during the class time, and you're going to want to have these oils to be able to give to people so that you can tell them what these oils are good for, because these are the basics. So lemon, lavender, peppermint, melaleuca, breathe, on guard, digesten, wild orange, balance, and deep blue rub samples. These are all in the Natural Solutions kit, and many of those are in the Home Essentials kit. So you want to point people toward those oils. You're going to want to have filled sample vials to give to the host. You're going to want to have the host to have 1 sample per guest in attendance. We'll get more into that later. But the keychain is going to be, the travel keychain is going to be what their hostess gift is. And so for every person that they get to come, that's in attendance, they get a travel-sized vial filled with a oil of their choice, actually of your choice. So that's great. Choose oils that are not in their enrollment pack. Pick the oils for them, or only give them a choice of oils that you're willing to offer. You don't need to give them Helichrysum or Melissa. Okay, you can choose lemon or lime if you want to. You're going to want cap stickers for the hostess's keychain samples. You're going to want oil keychains, the empty doTERRA keychains that you can get on your back office. I think there's $6.95 each or something like that. You're also going to want Natural Solutions class handouts, also from your back office. You can print them off if you need to, or you can buy them. You're going to want some build guides to hand out during the basic business presentation at the end of the evening. You're going to want to bring a calendar of your available dates for booking future classes and membership overviews. Some people really prefer to have a blank paper calendar that they can hand to them and know which dates are available. You can X out the dates that are not. Other people love to pull out their phone or their Google Calendar on a tablet or something and be able to schedule it that way. How you do that is up to you. You're going to want pens for people to write with. You're going to want your oil reference books that are labeled sample if you want to label them that way, or you don't have to if you don't feel comfortable labeling your books that way. But you're going to want about 8 of them, because each person in attendance is going to need or want his or her own book to be able to look through at the end of the class. We prefer the Essential Life book. Some people prefer the Modern Essentials. I really don't like the Modern Essentials book compared to the Essential Life. It's beautiful. The Essential Life book is beautiful. You can get that from oillife.com. They are about $30 each, but if you go in together with people that are living local to you, you can buy them in bulk and get them for less money. And if you don't have money to spend on 8 of those, because I do know that runs into a lot of money, maybe your group that lives local together can go in and buy maybe 2 each, and then have a group of books that you each rotate around for different classes or something. There are ways to get around the cost of some of this, okay? You're going to want light refreshments for the basic business introduction at the end of the class. Something simple. Get some apples, slice them, and spray some On Guard on them. That does not need to be elaborate. And you're going to want a diffuser. Please don't bring another brand's diffuser in there. Bring a pedal diffuser or the Lumo diffuser, any of those, right? And then we suggest citrus bliss and peppermint to wake them up, and maybe bergamot to give them confidence. So that way when it comes to the end of the class, they'll have confidence to make a decision, okay? And they need to be able to make good decisions for themselves and their family. Okay, so as far as the agenda goes, this is what we are going to actually give you as an idea of the overview of what the class will look like. This is just to give you a sense of how it should go. These are maximum suggested time amounts. In other words, don't talk for 10 minutes on your welcome. Make it a minute or less, right? 2 minutes on your introduction. And then you're going to go through a bunch of different sections that we're going to elaborate on as we go through the class script here with you. It's got the minutes and the timing and everything on the right there. This is intended to be a maximum amount for you so you can have an idea. Let me go through that really quickly with you. You're going to talk about 3 cool things about essential oils: that they are natural, that they're effective, and that they're safe. Take 8 minutes to do that. 3 ways to use essential oils: aromatically, topically, and internally. 5 minutes to go through that. You'll have an opportunity to have testimonials from the people in the class. Make sure that you specify doTERRA oils for the testimonials. And this is why this class is part of the bigger picture, because they need to be sampled properly ahead of time so that when they come to the class, they're able to give you an awesome testimonial about a doTERRA oil. And that is powerful. 7 minutes for that. You're going to go over 3 ways to purchase: retail, wholesale and below wholesale, 7 minutes for that. 3 types of people who come to the class. You'll hear more about that in a little bit, 2 minutes for that. You're going to give your most powerful product testimony. And so you're going to have an opportunity to take 1 to 2 minutes to talk about the product that has helped you the most. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. And that is powerful. Don't do that part at the beginning when you're talking about your introduction and who you are. Save the powerful stuff for that section here, section 8. You're going to have a closing technique that we'll go over in a little bit. You'll schedule membership overviews with everybody who enrolls. Do it there before they leave. You'll book future classes. And then you'll have the basic business introduction, no more than 20 minutes at the end of the class. And we are calling that the free natural health care and the 4-year retirement plan, because that will appeal to different people that are interested in sharing the business with people. So I want you to pay attention to just a few things when you look at this agenda. Be sure that you understand that this is something to not go over time-wise. If you're like me and you love doTERRA and you love the oils, you get so excited when you're in the middle of the class. You're like, oh my gosh, and there's this website, and you can type in the batch number, you can do this, and you can do that, and you take all of this time getting, don't do that. Don't stifle it, okay? You have to, because what happens is your excitement is great, but by the time it comes to the place where you buy, where they're supposed to decide if they want to buy, they won't. They'll be tired. They'll be zombie state. You know, it's not okay. You need to keep the class short. If there is anything I could tell you guys about this script, only one thing, my piece of advice for you, stick to the script. Stick to the script. It's brilliant. And I'm not saying that because I was partially in helping to write it. I'm saying it's brilliant. Trust the people, primarily Elise and Patrick Shedeby, but also the 4 of us who tweaked it in our own ways. Stick to the script. Don't go past it. Don't go over it. Keep your enthusiasm for another time to talk about any number of other things. So basically, you're going to have 40-ish minutes for the class. Take about 20 minutes to enroll, about 20 minutes at the end for your basic business introduction. And just keep it short, because if you give them too much information, it'll be lower retention on their part, and then they get overwhelmed and they won't enroll. And you hurt yourself, you hurt your business, and honestly, you hurt the person that came there to listen to you because they got overwhelmed and didn't get what was best for their family. So don't hurt them by talking too much.
Thank you, Donna. And you are absolutely right. So often we are so excited about the oils that we overshare, but that's about us and not what's about best for them. So now we're going to dive into the script. And once again, to remind you, we're going to have Kate Keck, who's going to be reading the notes for this script. And then we're going to have Audrey Charba reading the script. So this is the verbiage you will be saying in the class. All right, ladies, are you both ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Fantastic. I'll be scrolling along as best I can.
Here we go. We begin with the welcome. Host, if applicable, should welcome and edify the presenter. Give your host ideas for how they should introduce you ahead of time. He or she is an expert in the product or the business, etc. Something positive.
Thanks, Kate. My name's Audrey Charba, and I'm a wellness advocate with doTERRA. I'm super excited to be here with you tonight. When I'm not chasing after kids, teaching classes on essential oils is something that I love to do. I was introduced to doTERRA 6 years ago when the products had a great impact on my family's life. Because of that, I love to share about them so that others can have their amazing benefits too. So I really want to thank you, Kate, so much for inviting me to come here teach with you today. Something I like to do to honor hostesses is to make a donation in their name to the doTERRA Healing Hands Foundation, the charitable arm of doTERRA. They do amazing things like helping tens of thousands of girls in third world countries to stay in school by equipping them with reusable feminine hygiene products. So thanks again for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome. I just wanted to make a real quick note. You might see that training note and that piece that's highlighted. You may have remembered that Donna said that you're going to give a powerful testimony later in the class. This is really important, that this introduction is a very brief introduction, that you're just introducing people a very small amount about who you are as a human being. You're not going into your big, powerful why you got into oils yet. It's important not to overwhelm them with a bunch of information and a huge story to begin with. So for those of you who've been doing differently, I wanted to make a note here that emphasizes basic introduction in the beginning, powerful testimony later.
So thank you again for having me. I'm excited to dive right in. Today I'm going to teach you about essential oils, show you how to use them, and how to help you get them into your home. In this first section, I'll have done my job if you learn 3 cool things about essential oils. Now, the first cool thing about essential oils is that they're 100% natural and safe. Oils are extracts from plants that have amazing health benefits. There's nothing added or taken away. They're just pure essential oils. A pure oil is 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs, so they're really potent. To give you an example, let me give you an experience with one of the most important essential oils, peppermint.
The wellness advocate or helper will go around the room and put a drop of peppermint in the palm of each person's hand.
Okay, so everyone dab your thumb in the oil and then put it right in your eye. Just kidding. My friend taught a class where someone was trigger happy and actually did that, and it didn't feel good. If you ever get oils in a sensitive part of your body, just use a carrier oil like fractionated coconut oil to dilute it. It will take the sting away fast. Now really dab your thumb in the oil and press it to the roof of your mouth. How does that feel?
Wait for a few seconds for responses. If there are any negative responses, reply with, "That's interesting. Most people really love peppermint. Did anyone here find it cooling, refreshing, or invigorating?"
The other way we'll use it is by rubbing it between our palms. Try avoid touching your fingertips so that you don't forget and rub your eyes later. And then breathe deeply from your cupped hands. See if you can breathe that for 30 seconds. How does that feel? That's how powerful these essential oils are. So we're talking about the first cool thing, that doTERRA essential oils are 100% natural and safe. Unfortunately, not all oils out there are 100% natural and safe. What I love about our oils is the CPTG standard. It stands for Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade, and it means that these oils are completely pure and potent. Pure means that there are no foreign contaminants or fillers, and potent means that each plant was grown in a part of the world where it grows best, resulting in the most effective chemistry for that plant. When you have the ideal natural chemistry, the essential oil extracted does exactly what we want it to do for our health. So who can tell me the first cool thing about essential oils? That's right, 100% natural and safe. You win a travel size bottle of oil. This oil is great to wake you up, keep you focused, and also helps with headaches. You get the oil we just talked about, peppermint.
All right, thank you, Audrey. I'm going to jump in here. We're going to make a couple quick notes about this. Donna, can you explain the first piece of why we're giving a reward here?
Yes, we don't have anything in front of them to distract them. What we want with this class is to interact with them. This is a discussion. This is where you're actually interacting with them and training them and teaching them. So what you want is their attention. You want them to enjoy it. When you give them those little travel sample size of oils, their fun is going to go up. It gives you control as the presenter because they're listening to you and going, oh, when's she going to give another one? Everyone loves to win something, right? Don't y'all love to win? Even if it's just a silly something. It's like, I won. Granted, it's a little bitty thing of oil, but I still won, right? You want that. It gives you control. It increases your interaction. It increases the learning because they're now listening to everything that you're saying. So it's very important that you show up with the little drams to give away as gifts to them, as rewards for them when they answer correctly.
Awesome, thank you. And I wanted to draw attention to another interesting thing about this sentence. Notice that Audrey didn't say the name of the oil until the very end of the sentence. This is on purpose. You're not telling them what the oil is and then telling them what it does. You're explaining the value about just a couple quick things that they can use that oil for. They're interested because they're like, oh, what can help me with my headaches? What can help me with my X, Y, or Z? And then you let them know the name of the oil at the end. You're going to see that pattern repeated throughout this class script.
The second cool thing about essential oils is that they're more effective than many medications. First, do we have any medical professionals in the room? Okay, what I'm going to share next is going to sound very elementary to you. Most of us in the room don't have the medical training that you do. So I'm going to really simplify things so that it makes sense to everyone. It's going to be like Biology 101. Is that okay?
All right. I'm going to jump in real quick here and explain this because this is a little different. This is a very specific piece put into this class by the studies because they noticed that a lot of times when you do happen to have a medical professional in the room, particularly medical professionals, doctors, nurses, anything, one thing that they can tend to do is because they feel like this is their purview, this is their area of expertise, they end up trying to establish themselves or prove themselves in the pecking order, right? And that can lead to a big class disruption. So this is a really quick way that you can diffuse that just by kind of saying like, hey, you're giving a nod to the fact that you know, they know a lot in this area, and then establishing the fact that you're not trying to speak on a super high scientific level. You're just trying to explain the very basics for everyone. That, giving that nod to them appeases their pride, for lack of a better word, right? Because they know they are experts, and then it diffuses the potential disruption. So it's a really awesome thing to learn to interject in the class here.
If there aren't any medical professionals in the room, go ahead and skip that last sentence right there and just say, either way, we're going to touch on a little biology.
Let's say this is the cell. We know that cells have cell membranes. The cell's membrane, their job is to keep the good stuff in, the bad stuff out. Now, there are two things that like to attack our cells, bacteria and viruses. Bacteria can't get into the cell, but viruses can. Let's say you went to the doctor with a bacterial infection. What would he do for you? Give you an antibiotic. And after taking the antibiotic for 7 to 10 days, in most cases, it would clear up the infection, but at the cost of devastating your gut, hormones, and immune system. And if you had a virus, like the cold or flu, what would he say? Go home, wait it out, drink lots of fluids, right? And the reason why is because most medications can't get into the cell to stop the virus. Not only that, many medications frequently come with side effects and addictions. Essential oils can work on a cellular level to combat bacteria on the outside of the cell and prevent the duplication of viruses on the inside. That's why they are more effective than many medications. So who can tell me the second cool thing about essential oils? Right, they're more effective than many medications. You win an oil that is effective for both bacteria and viruses. So you don't even need to know what you have. You can just use it whenever you get sick or to help keep yourself from getting sick in the first place. You win on guard. The third cool thing about essential oils is that they're cheaper than traditional medical care. To illustrate, who can tell me their copay for visiting the doctor?
Let people volunteer their copay until you find the cheapest one in the room.
And if your doctor gave you a prescription for an antibiotic, how much would it cost to fill the prescription?
Again, let people volunteer how much they'd spend on the prescription until you found the cheapest one.
Now, whether it costs you $20 for the copay and the prescription, or whether it costs you $0 because you live in a country with free medical care, we still haven't taken into account the cost of the gas to get to the doctor and the half day of work you probably had to take off for the doctor visit. We also haven't taken into account the fact that antibiotics harm your gut and that you probably have to buy extra probiotics for 2 weeks to fix the damage, which is even more money. When someone in my family has an ear infection, we rub a drop of lavender and a drop of melaleuca around their ear. 3 or 4 applications later, the ear infection is cleared up. It costs us about 17 cents per application. So even if you had free healthcare coverage, the doTERRA route still wins. We save hundreds of dollars a year in medical costs because of essential oils. You can't afford not to use natural solutions. That is why essential oils are cheaper than traditional medical care. So who can tell me the third cool thing about essential oils? Yep, they're cheaper than traditional medical care. You win an oil that you might know as tea tree oil. It kills germs outside and inside the body. Plus, it's great for skin issues like acne and wound care. You get Melaleuca. Who can tell me all 3 cool things about essential oils? Yep, 100% natural and safe, cheaper than traditional medical care, more effective than many medications. Okay, I've done my job. You win one of my favorite oils. This oil keeps me grounded throughout the day. I call it the anti-stress blend. You get balance.
Awesome. Thank you, Audrey. Quick note on this. That phrase at the end, Donna, could you explain why we're telling them, okay, I've done my job?
Sure. At the beginning of this section, we said, I will have done my job if you know 3 cool things about essential oils. So we're reminding them that this was important. This was my job. They know 3 cool things about essential oils now.
Absolutely. Thank you. This is an awesome speaker tip. Tell them what you're going to tell them, tell it to them, and then tell them that you told it to them, right? You're really hammering home that way.
Now let's talk about how to use essential oils. We can use them 3 ways: aromatically, topically, and internally. The first way to use essential oils is aromatically. So everyone take your fingers and pinch right here on the bridge of your nose. Right under your fingers is your olfactory nerve. All right, we can take our fingers down because we all look goofy. This nerve sends messages to the limbic system of our brain, which in turn sends messages all over the body. Sometimes people think it's wishful thinking to say oils could affect the body just by smelling them, but let's illustrate. When you go to the hospital for surgery and need to be put under, how do they deliver the anesthesia? You breathe through the mask, count down from 10, perfect. So when you breathe through the mask, your olfactory system is powerful enough to knock you out in under 10 seconds. It's the fastest way to access the brain and in turn impacts the whole body. There are a few ways to use essential oils aromatically. You can breathe from your hands, use them in a diffuser, or breathe them right out of the bottle. So let's have an experience with wild orange right now. Wild orange has many of the same effects as antidepressants.
Let everyone inhale a drop of wild orange from their hands. Ask them to describe their experiences.
Right? I love that. We can use oils aromatically to support respiratory health, to clean the air, and to balance emotions. So the first way we use essential oils is aromatically. The second way to use essential oils is topically. You can actually apply oils directly to the skin. In many applications, and especially for those with children and with those with sensitive skin, you'll want to dilute the oils with fractionated coconut oil. A general rule of thumb is for topical use is put it where it hurts. You can also apply the oils to the bottoms of your feet, especially for babies, because we have extra thick skin there. It's not as sensitive, and it will still help the whole body. What are some different health needs you might use essential oils for topically?
Here you can take about 2 to 3 answers, and if no one responds, give some examples like digestion, sore muscles, wound care, headache, etc.
So the second way to use essential oils is topically. The third way to use essential oils is internally. Many of doTERRA's essential oils are not only safe to use internally, they're recommended. The oils intended for internal use will have supplement facts, just like the label on any other food or medicine. Because there are 0 regulatory standards for essential oils, doTERRA had to come up with its own, CPTG. You might remember what it stands for, Certified Pure Therapeutic Grade. So in addition to being pure and potent, the CPTG standard is our commitment to beyond organic farming and third-party lab testing that they make available to the public. Check out the batch-specific lot number on the bottom. You can enter this number on a website and actually see the third-party test results. All this to say is that doTERRA oils are medicinal quality and are completely safe to ingest, unlike most other brands. You can put them under your tongue, on the roof of your mouth, or drink them in water. And if you don't like the taste, put them in an empty capsule or choose one of our pre-made soft gel products. So what are some different health needs you might use oils for internally?
Take about 2 to 3 answers. If no one responds, again, give some examples, such as digestion, immune support, sore throat, canker sores, allergies, pain, weight loss, detox, etc.
So the third way to use essential oils is internally. Who can tell me all 3 ways to use essential oils? Aromatically, topically, internally. Perfect. You win one of the oils that I love to use all 3 ways. It's very calming, so we use it to calm emotions, skin irritations, and allergies, and it's also awesome for sleep. You get lavender.
We're going to move on now to the testimonials portion of the class. Note, this is the most fun, most powerful part of the class, but it only works if people have been properly sampled before the class. If done right, your guests will offer each other social proof and powerful testimonials that get them ready to use essential oils in their home. Remember, facts tell, stories sell.
So now for the funnest part of the class. For anyone who would like to come up and share an awesome doTERRA oil experience you've had, I have another travel size oil for you. There are just 2 rules. You have to keep it under 60 seconds, and it can't be the same story as someone else. Who wants to go first?
If someone goes over a minute, reinforce the rules without shaming them by saying, you went over a minute, but I liked your story so much, I'm going to give you an oil anyway. Give away the remaining 5 samples you brought to the class, 1 for each participant testimonial. Describe the oil, then share its name. We have some scripts for those oils below.
This oil is fantastic for all things cleansing. Great for getting toxins out of the body and your home. Add a drop of lemon to your water to drink or into a bowl when you soak your produce to make sure it's actually clean. Use this oil anytime you've had trouble breathing from a cough, allergies, or asthma. You get our Breathe Blend. This oil is great for motion sickness, nausea, or when things are going through you too quickly or not quickly enough. Replace all your tummy over-the-counters with this 1 bottle. You win Digestin. This oil makes you happy. It helps us with fear, sadness, irritability, and stress. Wild orange is like sunshine in a bottle. Now this is a special blend that's wonderful to rub on sore muscles and aching joints. Athletes love this for their workouts, and it's often a gateway to essential oils for men. You get the Deep Blue Oil Blend in this easy-to-use rub. Well, thank you all so much for sharing your experiences with us. So at the beginning of class, I told you I'd let you know how to get oils into your home. So let's talk about that now. There are 3 ways to purchase essential oils, and the first way is retail. Nobody here is going to buy retail tonight. You'd only buy oils at retail prices if you were at a chiropractor's office, a spa, or other professional setting. It's the most expensive way to buy oils. The second way is wholesale. This is kind of like having a Costco or Sam's card where you have an annual membership that gives you access to their great products at the best prices. With doTERRA, you can get a wholesale membership for $35, which allows you to buy at 25% below the retail price. The third way, and the only way that I buy my oils, is below wholesale. This is the smartest way to get oils. I'll tell you how to do this in just a minute. As you have listened tonight about the power of essential oils and how they can change our lives, you might be thinking, wow, this is more than I imagined. doTERRA wants to support you with your essential oil journey, and our goal isn't that you just have 1 bottle of Melaleuca for athlete's foot or Deep Blue for a back pain. Our goal is to teach you how to live a natural lifestyle so that when things come up like headaches, a cold, or the flu, instead of reaching for drugs, you can reach for your natural solutions that don't have side effects. doTERRA has put collections of products together as starter kits for different health needs and budgets, priced below wholesale cost. Even better, when you buy any kit, the $35 wholesale membership fee is waived. So with your starter kit and a wholesale membership, you'll have access to everything you need to be prepared now and in the future. Let me tell you a few things about your kits.
Here, we'll talk about the kits, the Diamond Kit, Home Essentials, and Family Essentials, and then we'll finish with the Natural Solutions Kit. It would be helpful to have many or all of the products from the Natural Solutions Kit displayed on the side for them to look through after the class. The only exception is it would be a good idea to show lifelong vitality when you talk about it.
The Diamond Kit is by far the greatest value. It has almost every product that doTERRA makes, saves you over $1,000 off wholesale, and even gives you $400 in free product points to use later. The next kit is the Home Essentials Kit. This one has the top 10 essential oils, many of which we've talked about today, in big bottles, and it comes with a 4-hour diffuser. Another option is the Family Essentials Kit. This kit is the lowest price point and also comes with the top 10 oils in the smaller, fun-sized bottles, but no diffuser. The last kit is my personal favorite. It's the Natural Solutions Kit. It has everything you need to replace your entire medicine and cleaning cabinets. The most important oils, a 10-hour diffuser, digestive enzymes and probiotics to support your gut health, and non-toxic immune-boosting soap, toothpaste, and soft gels to help keep your family healthy. Most importantly, it includes a trio of supplements we call the Lifelong Vitality Pack. This is actually doTERRA's #1 selling product because, well, it works. And we all need the nutrition that these supplements provide. 12 full servings of fruits and vegetables. Very often, our bellies are full, but our cells are starving. So if you want a foundation for healthy living, this is it. They come with a no questions asked, money back guarantee. So if you're not feeling more focused, more energy, and less pain when you get to the bottom of the bottles, we'll help you return them. The Natural Solutions Kit is an incredible value because it's priced $250 below wholesale cost. It comes with $100 in free product points to use later, and there's not one thing in this kit that I wouldn't want to do without.
Here in the class, we're going to go over 3 types of people where we begin to introduce the business opportunity. So we want to note that if you don't offer the business opportunity at your classes, you can't complain about not finding any builders. This part of the class is invaluable.
In my experience teaching, I've found that there are 3 types of people who come to these classes. The first type of person is someone who's excited to live a natural solutions lifestyle for themselves and their family. doTERRA supports this person by providing free monthly essential oil education. And we help with ongoing support to make sure you're comfortable and confident using your oils. The second type is sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, my mom needs these oils. I want my friend to learn about these. These people naturally want to share what they love. doTERRA supports this type of person through a generous system to reward people who share the products. As these people consistently share over time, they can have the oils they buy all paid for each month. We call this free natural health care. And there are thousands and thousands of people all over the world who are currently receiving free natural health care. The third type of person has been watching me the entire time and thinks, that's what I want to do. I want to change people's lives through educating them about the power of essential oils. doTERRA rewards this type of person through an incredibly generous compensation plan. As these people educate others about the power of essential oils, they can earn enough to supplement or even replace their income so they can become financially free. If you're the second or third type of person, talk to me after class and I'll show you how to get started.
This is the point in the class when you would share your most powerful product testimony. This should be your most emotional, highest impact experience with essential oils. You want to show your authenticity. Do not take more than 1 to 2 minutes at most. The formula for your testimony is you want to spend the most of your time on the problem. 40% of your time you speak about the problem. 30% of your time you speak about the pain or the cost of the problem. And then 30% is on the actual solution with essential oils.
That's why I'm so passionate about teaching others about essential oils, which leads me to the most important part of the class. This is where you get to focus on your top health challenges and goals, and then discover solutions that will help you solve them.
This section of the class is the closing technique. This should buy us about 20 minutes of time to educate and entertain them while waiting for us to talk to them individually. This is so we don't lose their attention and enthusiasm. The goal here is to close 3 to 4 people per wellness advocate in about 20 minutes max. It's important that all wellness advocates closing the class have been properly trained in this method. So here, this is when we pass out the Natural Solutions class handout, the Essential Life books, and pens, 1 for each person if possible.
Awesome. Donna, could you elaborate on that if possible? Why is this happening?
because we want their attention up until then. You guys can probably notice that the verbiage up until now has been very powerful. You don't want to distract anybody from the powerful message you've been telling them. So you wait until now to give them the Natural Solutions class handouts and the Essential Life books. And it's really important that they each have one if they can, because why did we invite them? Really, we want to solve their problems. Everybody's got problems with their health, their little day-to-day things, and our oils are the solutions. Our supplements are the solutions. So we want them to have individual handouts and corresponding books then, because now is when the focus changes from me talking to them solving their problems. So now is the time to hand that out.
Awesome. Thank you. And you're going to see that there's some verbiage in here that ensures that they're not going back and looking at the content at the beginning of the handout. They're not getting distracted by that. That you're going to listen for how the speaker directs them exactly what to do with the handout and where to go.
So now we're going to pass out a couple things. This first thing is a great handout for you to keep so that you don't need to memorize everything that we just talked about. We've already covered pages 1 and 2, so let's look at the top of page 3 together. Go ahead and write down your top 3 health issues or priorities on the top of the page. Don't forget emotional needs or the health needs of others in your family. I'll share what mine are if you promise to write down yours.
Go ahead and tell them 3 ailments you wanted to work on when you were first introduced to doTERRA. Then pause to give them about 30 seconds to write.
Okay, now I'm going to show you how to use the book we handed you. This is the Encyclopedia of Essential Oils. When you look up your ailments in the front red section, it's going to give you 5 suggestions for oils you can use. I want you to write those down on your handout next to each of your health concerns. If you want more information on a certain oil or topic, it's going to show you the chapter in the book where you can learn more. Fun, right? Now turn to the back of the book. There are recipes, ways to use oils in your home, with your babies, for your pregnancies, your pets. There's even a section on intimacy. There's so much fun stuff inside. So take your time working on your list, looking back through the book. I'm going to be walking around with Kate, and we'll work with you individually to figure out which kit is best for you.
We mentioned the kit here briefly because we're already assuming the sale. Here we move into the closing technique with individual attention. Body language is vitally important in closing the sale. People want to feel like you genuinely care and that they're being heard. It's our job to do that. So we're going to go up to each person, get on one knee, and talk to them at eye level so they can truly feel your interest. Do not hover over them. So on one knee, you're going to say,
what are we working on?
That's all. We say we because you are doing this together as a team. You'll then review their health concerns and help them write down the products they need according to what you find in the book if they haven't already. Be sure to include products in the kits for each ailment. It's helpful to actually circle the oils in the Natural Solutions Kit photo to show value. In this section, you should prescribe a set of solutions with confidence. Don't oversell or push bigger kits without cause. Recommend what you truly feel they need. Keep this in mind. Does a doctor ever write you a prescription and ask, how does this work with your budget? Of course not. Instead, they say, here's your prescription, go get it. So in the same way, you are in the position of authority here. You know much more about the essential oils than they do. So if you talk from a position of authority, people want you to tell them what they need and they'll listen to you. If they're not comfortable with any of this, they'll definitely let you know. Never say, what do you think? Or what kit looks good for you? This never works. Instead, suggest the best kit for them.
So here's what we're going to do. I suggest that you start with the Natural Solutions Kit. It has lemon, lavender, peppermint to help you start addressing your allergies. It also comes with the Lifelong Vitality Pack that will help address the root cause that might be inflammation or a nutritional deficiency that caused the allergies in the first place. It's also going to have the diffuser so you can help to keep your airways open with the Breathe oil and lots of different oils and options to make sure that you have what you need when you need them, depending on whatever might come your way.
Awesome. That was an excellent example. I want to make a really brief note on this, that more often than not, you're probably going to be recommending the Natural Solutions Kit. And the reason for that is because the Natural Solutions Kit is the first tier of kit, so to speak, that has the Lifelong Vitality in it. And because the Lifelong Vitality is so important for everybody's health, right? Nutrition is the basis of everyone's health, and the Lifelong Vitality is our most important product. You're going to want to be recommending the kit that contains that in it. Plus, it has an excellent value. A lot of us are like, man, I just don't know if they can afford that. That's not your concern. Your concern is to recommend the kit for them and then go from there. If they say, I can't do that, then you'll redirect. But don't worry about that at this point. You're just recommending what you believe is probably the best kit for them.
So you have the handout in front of them, and you're going to turn the page to the enrollment form and say,
So I'm going to let you work on this enrollment form while I help a few other people. But to get you started, we're going to check the Natural Solutions Kit box right here. This section here talks about loyalty rewards. That's how you can continue to get below wholesale pricing, which I'll talk to you about at our membership overview. So go ahead and finish up with these highlighted sections, then I'll come back and check on you.
don't give details about the LRP during the close. It's super overwhelming for a new customer. Go over LRP during the membership overview. The enroller on the form should be the person building a doTERRA business, not a sharer or a user. When you complete the enrollment form, when you get completed enrollment forms from the people, don't enroll them online at the class. Wait to do that after the class. For people who want to buy but have money concerns, you can say,
no worries, this is actually awesome. Let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to book a class just like this, and I'll come teach for your friends and family. We'll have tons of fun. We won't set up your account until afterward when we know exactly how much cash reward you'll receive to put toward your kit. And you could get it for free.
You're going to pause there and wait for their reaction. After this, you're going to schedule their membership overview. Once someone has filled out their enrollment form, you're going to schedule that membership overview. Plan it for a few days after their kit will arrive to really maximize their excitement. Keep in mind that the membership overview needs to be scheduled with their enroller, not necessarily the presenter. It's best to go over to their house, but if you get any reluctance, you can meet anywhere, even over Zoom. During their membership overview, we want them to feel like it's extremely valuable to them. You're not going to say, oh, guess what? Everyone gets this, or this is just what the company offers. It depersonalizes it.
Because you're investing in yourself, I'm going to invest in you. I'm going to take some of my time and resources, come to your house, and we're going to sit down and go over how to use your new oils to really address your health needs. We'll create a morning, afternoon, and evening routine so you know exactly what to do. We can even do this for everyone in your families, including your pets. I know you're excited about your oils right now, but you're going to forget some important things we talked about today. And I want to be a support for you so that you get the most value out of your investment. Especially for your first 90 days as you get started, you'll have more direct access to me for extra support so you're comfortable and confident using your oils.
Bring out and refer to your calendar.
So your kit will probably arrive around Tuesday, so let's schedule your membership overview for Friday. What time works best for you?
Pause after helping the first person with their enrollment form. Whip out your 8-vial keychain that you got from doTERRA.com and say,
oh my gosh, I forgot to show you something super cool. This is my keychain that holds my 8 travel-sized oils. It's perfect because you always have your oils with you. If a kid's crying in the back seat of the car, you have balance. If someone eats the wrong thing while you're out, you have Digestin. Who wants one of these? So here's the thing. You can't buy it from me today. You can earn it as a reward. If any of you would like me to come teach a fun class exactly like we did here today, I'll give you one of these to take home with you. You get an empty keychain when you put your class in the calendar right now, and for each person who comes to your class, I'll put an oil in your keychain. Hey, Kate, would you show us your oil keychain?
So schedule the classes on your calendar right then. and then send the empty keychains home with your class hosts as agreed. The goal is to book 2 or more classes from every class taught. This is how you blast out of your warm market. Next time you chat with them, likely during the membership overview, you'll prepare them for their classes and help them know how to properly sample their guests beforehand. This is when we're going to invite folks to the basic business intro. So before anyone leaves the class, pause again to invite everyone to this session. Do not leave this out of your class. To simplify the hosting process, the enrollers should offer to bring the treats.
If anyone wants to try some essential oil treats, we have On Guard soaked apples and peppermint brownies in the back. We'll be doing a 20-minute presentation on free natural health care and the 4-year retirement plan right after the class, and you can enjoy those treats while you're listening. That will start in about 5 minutes as soon as we're done helping everyone in here.
Keep this basic business intro under 20 minutes. Your guests have already digested a lot of information. So if possible, use the company's build guides, which are especially helpful for explaining the compensation plan. Here's how the basic business intro flows. First, we share the story of building the pipeline versus hauling buckets on the first page of the build guide. Second, we show the basic compensation plan in the build guide. This is not the time to start drawing circles on a board or getting fancy or diving into the details of Power of 3 or Unilevel. In this session, we're going to draw attention to how income grows steadily over time. It's not a get-rich-quick thing, but a powerful long-term residual income. We're also going to point out the ranks in the corresponding average income, explain that average income is comprised of 5 different ways doTERRA pays, and then we're going to point out the average amount of time to reach each rank or income written along the bottom of the graph. You're going to ask them, how much would you need to make per month in order to retire? And then show them that figure on the list and have them circle the diamond or blue diamond incomes and mention the 4-year retirement plan and say, I also want you to circle the diamond and blue diamond incomes because most people don't need $38,000 per month to retire. According to the graph, how long should it take you to retire? And then you're going to kind of compare and contrast typical retirement plans. And then number 3, you're going to share success stories. If you do not have your own business success story, then just share our upline. John and Duquesa have an incredible one, and it's actually listed for you in one of the leadership magazines, and we've included the link in the script, so you can just click on that, go to pages 10 and 11, and read all about their story. We know these guys, we love them, they're real people, and they've succeeded in doTERRA, so you can use that. The 4th thing you'll do in the basic business introduction is just to turn to the next page and have them fill out a few things. You can look on this script to see exactly what you're going to fill out and how to do that. If they express interest in the business, then you're going to invite them to something we call a 3-way call. The purpose of that invitation, it's an incredible opportunity for a prospective builder to talk to a diamond leader in doTERRA who's very successful, even if the enroller is successful him or herself. Through the 3-way call conversation, they can gain knowledge and wisdom and clarity on how to successfully build the doTERRA business. It's important to give urgency and a time constraint to the call, about 20 minutes, and this communicates that the leader's time is valuable and the 20 minutes isn't intimidating for the prospective builder.
I want to jump in real quick and make a note here. The recommendation to have diamond and above leaders leading the 3-way calls came from the Sedevies. And so, through a little bit of experience, we kind of decided that's probably the best way to do it. So for those of you who are wanting to set up 3-way calls in the future, look in your genealogy if you're not aware of this and find your closest upline diamond, and they will know how to rock these 3-way calls.
So if they express that interest in the business, you're going to use the following script.
Okay, great. Here's what we'll do. I have a business partner and mentor who is very successful and is very skilled in doTERRA. His time is very valuable, so I would just ask him for a 20-minute call for you to gain some wisdom and clarity on how to do doTERRA successfully. This will be a fantastic way to make sure we reach those goals and dreams that you have here. And he's a good person who you're going to want to know anyway. I could probably get us a call on Tuesday or Thursday. Which one is better for you?
Okay, we want to kind of break from the actual class presentation. So that was basically everything top to bottom. Again, you will be provided with this script, so don't freak out just yet. You'll have time with this, and you will have Audrey's audio recording of the script. So you can be listening to it over and over and over again and help yourself memorize. However, there may be the question is, okay, this is obviously a class that's a presentation for one-to-many, right? So how do we adapt this for a one-on-one or a very small class of 2 to 3 people? So I'm just going to go very quickly over how to adapt this class. First point is keep your part of the presentation to 30 minutes or less. The class itself, when we did a big group, was 45. We want to keep this much shorter. We're going to omit entirely the welcome and introduction section. Instead, you could start the one-on-one by saying something about their samples, right? Like when we last spoke, I mentioned that your experience with peppermint, right, that sample that we gave them, was just the tip of the iceberg. So today I'd like to cover, and then you cover the agenda with them so they know exactly what to expect. Remember, we tell them what we're going to tell them, and then at the end we tell them what we just told them, so there's more retention there. It also satisfies the brain. If they know what to expect, they're not, constantly going off. We're going to then talk about the 3 cool things and the 3 ways to use. Obviously, it's the same, except we're going to omit the giveaways. So the giveaways, it's more tailored to like a larger audience. You're inviting participation and that kind of thing, the things that we talked about at the beginning. And so we don't need to do that. However, we fashioned the giveaways so that when we talk about each of those oils, it makes logical sense in the class. So for example, when we're talking about On Guard, we're talking about how they're more effective than many medications. So On Guard is great for bacteria and viruses, right? So we talk about that thing in the actual script. And so just because even though you're not giving away a sample at that point, it's still a great time to bring up On Guard anyway, or whatever the oil is that's in the script. Okay, so go ahead and bring those up, open the bottle, let them smell it, let them have an experience with it, and consider using your own oil keychain as a prop at this point. Because in the class, remember, you're not doing individual attention like you did at the very end, right? So you don't have that opportunity at the end of the class to say, oh, wait, I forgot something really, really cool. Who wants this keychain, right? And so instead, you bring out that keychain at the very beginning of the class, and then you can show them your oils from your keychain, right? The only exception to where in the script you're talking about different oils and it doesn't quite fit with what we're talking about in the script is Melaleuca and Balance. So these 2 oils, we're going to just talk about them anyway, but during the testimonial part of the script. So just hold off on that portion, wait until you get to the testimonial part, and then that's where we're going to talk about any oils we left off the script earlier. So when we get to that testimonials portion, you're going to, again, omit the giveaways for one-on-ones. Instead, we're going to use that section to talk about oils we haven't covered yet. We're going to allow participants to experience the oils as you talk about them. It's really important to give them as many experiences as possible. If, though, you have a class of 2 to 3 people, you can actually keep the giveaways for the classes. So the only difference here is it's not going to be like, now, who can tell me what, whatever. It's going to be a little bit more informal and a little bit more playful and intimate because you've got so few people. So you can be like, all right, which one of you can tell me the 3 ways to use essential oils, right? It's going to be a little bit less formal. The other advantage to having a small class like that with 2 to 3 people is you can let them like smell all the oils and just, as you describe their uses, right? In the bigger class, you're just giving away the sample and you're not really able to pass it around to the entire class. But this way, with a smaller class, you can do that. Last couple points here. You want to obviously adapt the closing technique for the setting. Okay, so just use your judgment there. And you do still want to offer the keychain for booking classes right then. Okay, so that's why it's really helpful to have that prop when you're talking about each of the oils.
All right, so the FAQ section, we came up with several questions here at the end, and I'm just going to read them through. What about the enrollment kits that are not shown in the class handout? doTERRA purposefully does not display or picture all the enrollment kits or options so participants are not overwhelmed. The enrollment form, however, does include the options for the Cleanse and Restore kit, the Aroma Touch Diffused, and the Emotional Aromatherapy Diffused kits. People may ask about these, or when you're sitting down with them and figuring out what their needs are, you may feel that one of these would be a better fit for a particular customer. It would be good to be familiar enough with those kits to answer basic questions about them, or to be able to look up a particular kit on doTERRA.com. Next question. Should we mention the cost to renew the wholesale membership? No, not at this point. Too many details confuse and overwhelm the mind, and a confused mind does not buy. However, if they ask, explain that the initial enrollment fee is $35 and every additional year is $25 if they want to continue purchasing, and that comes with a free 15 milliliter bottle of peppermint. So essentially, purchasing a bottle of peppermint for just over the wholesale cost will renew their membership. Shouldn't we ask which shipping method they prefer? No. Have a default shipping method that you use. If the customer has a question or preference, they will tell you. It's a good idea to be familiar with doTERRA's shipping rates and estimated delivery times. And I've got them there in the FAQs for you to read. The delivery times stated are established by doTERRA and not official. Last FAQ. Many leaders have used the Essential Life books as an incentive for hosting a class. Why does this model use the keychain as the incentive? And how can we still use the book as an incentive? This model uses the keychain as the incentive for hostesses because it is more affordable. It's very appealing, and it has a built-in reason to invite more people because the amount of bottles they receive filled with oils go up as more people attend the classes. If desired, the books can still be used as an incentive for an enrollment of a specified minimum PV, or for establishing an LRP order at the membership overview.
Awesome, outstanding. So I feel like we just kind of like pulled the sheet off of this incredible like Maserati amazing sports car, and we're just asking everybody, hey, you want to take a spin? You want to try out these new wheels? Trust me, you guys, this class script is that powerful. If you've ever seen the Studies teach a class, you know what I'm talking about. This class script is very, very, very effective, and I cannot wait for you to master this and utilize it. Now, I do want to open this up for questions in case anybody has, you probably have a lot of questions actually, but if you need clarity on something, we would love to take your questions. So you can either unmute yourself at this point and ask your question, or put it into the chat, and one of the other leaders will be able to read the chat. I cannot read it presently while I'm sharing my screen. All right, are there any questions?
I have a question.
Hi, Pam.
Hi. So in the beginning, this is probably not really relevant, but at the beginning of the class, they said that they like to make a donation to the Healing Hands Foundation in the name of the host.
Great question, yes.
How do you do that?
Audrey, do you want to comment on that?
Sure. So this was demonstrated by a different team of wellness advocates, and we thought it was really beautiful, not only to bring attention to the Healing Hands Foundation, because sometimes it's hard to talk about, bring that into the oils without overwhelm. So we thought it was really important to bring that, bring light to the Healing Hands. So all you would do is you can make a donation on your own doTERRA order. You can let the Healing Hands Foundation know that you're doing that in someone's honor, just through an email. So there's an email address for them. You can also send it through, Facebook has a chat window for them on their official chat window. But email is probably the best way so that they can keep a better record of it. But there's no minimum or maximum that we're talking about here. It can be $1. You can, be maybe $1 per person that they get into attendance. That can totally be up to you. But it's a way that we can highlight Healing Hands and also make the hostess feel loved and appreciated. And it's also nice maybe to have something printed off for them to hand when you do that thank you. So whether it be the Living magazine that has all of those different Healing Hands stories in there, or a little, thank you card. So something tangible is nice there, but the gift does not have to be extravagant. It's just something small. It could also be like a hope oil or something that the rose oil that directly benefits the Healing Hands Foundation, but is something tangible for the hostess.
Awesome. Thank you, Audrey. And I love this because remember we were talking about how the point of the class is to keep everything super short, super brief and tight, so we're not overwhelming them with so much information. Unfortunately, I could talk for 10 minutes about how great doTERRA is with the Healing Hands initiatives and the co-impact sourcing and all the ways that we're impacting lives all over the world. But we really don't have time for that in the class. So this is an excellent way to both honor the hostess and, as Audrey said, shine a little bit of a light on the charitable work that doTERRA does so people know what kind of company they're dealing with in doTERRA. Does that answer your question, Pam? Awesome. Thank you.
John, there was a question on the chat. Someone wanted to know, where can we get a copy of the script?
So we are going to be creating just a copy. We're going to share this Google Doc with everybody. We're going to take the little training notes on the side off and then share a link for anybody to be able to view it. And then you can create your own copy by saving it as a new copy and saving it on your computer. I'll give you instructions on how to do it, but just know that we're going to share a link to that in the business page on Facebook.
Another question was asked regarding clarification and the keychain. How many do they get when they book it, and how many do they get at the class? And I was explaining that there, but maybe you'd want to elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah, for everybody. Absolutely. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be giving the shell of the keychain pouch, the empty shell, to them when they book the class, right then and there. They get to walk out of there with that. And then they're going to get an oil. You're going to fill up or halfway fill up. It's really up to you. One of those little sample bottles. It can be the 1/4 dram or the 5/8 dram. But when you buy it from doTERRA, it comes with the 5/8 dram bottles. And you're going to fill up a bottle per person that attends the class. And you're going to explain that to them ahead of time so they know, hey, I want like 8 to 10 people to show up so that I get more of these oils filled up on my little on-the-go kit. So that's the built-in incentive they have to make sure that more than just one person shows up to their class, which is why this is really brilliant and a lot of fun for them as well. Everybody, it's funny to me, but maybe it's because I'm not a woman, I don't know, but it's funny the way that people go gaga over the tiny little kits and the little bottles. I see people just lose their minds, like, oh my gosh, they're so cute, the tiny little oil bottles, and they get little stickers on them, and they have a lot of fun. So it works as a great incentive, and the methodology is very effective too.
John, one more question. Someone who attended late, got on the call a little bit late. Can you speak a little bit more to why this is a successful script or who it comes from?
Okay. So why is this a successful script? The answer to that would be the fact that the most successful doTERRA wellness advocates in the company developed this. And they'll tell you they spent close to $200,000 when they were new to doTERRA to create the perfect system. And this class script was a huge part of it. So they were paying a bunch of professional people to figure out what is the best way to teach people about oils? What is the most effective way? And so this class is a huge part of their simple system that they teach people on their team to be successful. And because they teach their team members to use this class and to be successful with it, that's how they make over $400,000, close to $500,000 every single month in residual income, because so many people have had success with this class script. So is it successful? Yes, it's the most successful. I just want to be clear. This is mostly their script. We just fine-tuned a couple pieces to make sure that it fit with doTERRA's Natural Solutions class handout. And we didn't retool this thing and kind of make it completely new. So yeah, you can have confidence knowing that when you use this script, you're using the best script. Okay. Any more questions?
I actually had one real quick.
Awesome.
So you guys had mentioned that you guys as leaders were going to be doing training for the sampling portion of it that should happen prior to this class. When can we expect that to start taking place?
Very soon. Very soon. Yeah, don't worry. We are not going to sleep on that at all. In fact, if we weren't in such a rush to get you this, we would have probably already packaged it together. But we've been working nonstop to get this ready to do this training so that as soon as we possibly could, we could put the best class script as possible into your hands. But the rest of the training is specifically when it comes to how to sample and invite people is really awesome because it teaches you how to connect with people, how to look out for some of the health needs that they have and give them one simple sample to help their health needs. And then once they have a positive experience with the health need or with the oil, that's when we then invite them to come learn more at a class. And when you follow that methodology, nobody feels weird. Nothing's been salesy or awkward. You're just taking care of them. And they already know that the oils work by the time they show up to your class because they've already had a positive experience. Even if it's just a small one, they show up in a very different psychological place than if they've never experienced this before and they're coming in going like, what is this voodoo, witchcraft, weird oil stuff? I mean, I'm sure you've all heard this if you've taught oil classes. And I'll be honest, that's kind of what I thought about the oils before they changed our life and we started teaching other people about them. So, yeah, we will definitely get that to you very soon. Thank you for that question.
John, there was another question that I'd actually like to answer if I may. Someone asked if anyone has actually used this script on our team, and I'd like to say I have. And when I came back from the October training, I was beyond excited, and I actually arrived home on a Monday morning, early in the morning, and that next Saturday I had my whole team over to our house, and I rolled out the script and told them this is what we're doing, and they started memorizing it and using it. We had a couple of personal situations that happened since then, but last month and this month we started teaching classes with it, and Deborah just posted on the chat there the classes that, oh my gosh, excuse me. Thought I muted my phone back. The classes that we've taught have gone beyond well. I mean, everybody's engaged in the classroom time. They're so excited about the little gram and their 12 drops of oil. They want to hear what you have to say. They're excited to enroll. People who came because they had a sample of Breathe and expected to buy one bottle of Breathe are signing up with kits and going, I had no idea they did all of this. I mean, I could go on and on and on. It is an amazing class. And I've tried many different kinds of classes over the last few years. This is far and above better than anything I've ever done.
And if you see in the comments, Deborah's talking about how she's been already using the script and she has 6 enrollments so far this month, and the month is still just getting started. So,
yeah. John, would it be all right if I mentioned something specifically about the script?
Please do.
It's been working very well with the men who have been in the classes because of our approach of referring to, like, how does the anesthesia get administered? I mean, things that are very concrete and specific and practical. And so the eyebrows are raised and they're making this connection of, oh, this is not as, out there as I once thought. It's very practical and there's a scientific reason why it works. And so I've been having several men, kind of prodding their wives going, hey, you know what, we need a little bit bigger kit to make this work. So it's been good.
That's awesome. And that makes a lot of sense. And it's also a testament to how truly well thought out this script is. So that's a good point to kind of reiterate one of the things that Donna said at the beginning of this, like, if you're tempted to go in there and change a bunch of things in this class, don't. You're probably changing things that have been very, very well thought out, very scripted, intentionally, because it's effective and it's the best way to teach people. So
yeah, to that note, there was one comment there was a comment in the comments that mentioned just, hey, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't make that joke about sticking the peppermint, in your eye. And I just want to speak to that, if I may, really quickly. What John just said is very true. There is a method behind the madness. It sounds very silly to say something like, put your thumb in the peppermint and stick it in your eye. Just kidding, like that kind of a thing. But the point is, practice the scripts to where it sounds a little bit more natural, because there is absolutely a reason why we say that. It's actually twofold. The first reason is that when you get people to laugh, even if you say something ridiculous, just silly, it kind of opens people up. And then if you can insert information there, they're more receptive to that information. And so they'll retain it. Does that make sense? So you say something stupid or something silly, and it helps them remember the next thing that you're about to say. And the next thing that you're about to say is really important. If you get an oil in an uncomfortable place on your body, you can use fractionated coconut oil to take the sting away fast, right? And so there's a couple reasons why we use that specifically, but it's also why we use humor, why Elise Chedevy uses humor throughout the document, even though it's a little silly, right? So the point is, try to practice it as much as you can to make it sound as natural for you as possible, and that way it kind of rolls off the tongue. You guys, if you don't own this script and make it your voice and how you would say it naturally, people aren't going to jump on board. If it sounds like you're reading from a script or sounds like you're uncomfortable with the script, it's not going to go well. So that's the point, right? Put the work in now to memorize this thing, and just my advice is to memorize it and then just try it. Like, just try it once the Chedevy way, and then tweak and adjust and see where you go from there.
absolutely, yeah. On that note, I think it's important to say, like Kate said, do not read this. The last thing you want to do, even though it's like, wow, there's a lot, it's kind of new, I'm not sure I can say this, don't stand in front of a class and read. That is like instant class death. They will probably fall asleep. But if you need to, the optimal is you just have it memorized. Even if it's not memorized perfectly, you just kind of work through it. If you get down to crunch time and you're like, oh man, I am doomed. There's no way I'm going to make my way through this. Just make bullet points on kind of the outline, so to speak, of the class, that all you have to do is kind of glance at the bullet point and then you're back in your own words. You're not reading. That would be acceptable, and that would not kill your class. But again, the ideal is to get to the point where you've listened to this so many times that it's just second nature and the words become natural. That is what Stephanie Martin talked about. That is how she said she went Presidential Diamond. She said she put in the work on the front end that other people didn't do. She said literally she probably listened to a class 80 times before she went out and taught it. So this is my assignment to you. This is what I want you to do to be effective with this class. First of all, if you are doing this as a part of your team and you're going to be teaching with other people and kind of working with other people, and they were not on this call tonight, make sure that you get the recording of this and have these other team members watch this training. They need to know what they're doing. Again, it's very important that everybody is trained in this methodology. The second thing is, at the top of this class outline, we're going to put that link to a recording of Audrey just reading through the script. Okay, not just reading it. She's also very good at speaking it. Right? She's teaching like as though she's teaching a class in person. So you're going to be able to hear it, and that's what you're going to listen to again and again and again. You don't have to listen to this whole entire recording again and again and again. You just need to get the verbiage embedded into that, so it's second nature. So first assignment is have everybody else on your team watch this training. The second assignment is listen to Audrey's recording, whatever it takes, 20, 30, 40, 50, 80 times until it is second nature and you're just able to speak right along with it, and you don't have to think about it. The third thing is schedule a class. Just go ahead, schedule a class, get it down on the calendar, invite people to it, and then whether somebody shows up or not, teach that class. If you're alone, teach it to the couch or teach it to your dog, whatever it is. Just make sure you teach the class. Why? Because part of the mechanism is when you schedule the class, you're going to step up and you're going to make the things happen in order to get ready for that class. If you just put it off like, well, I'm not going to schedule any classes for a while because I really should probably listen to this for a month or two, and then it's never going to happen. You're not going to do it. You have to schedule the deadline and then put in the work to make it happen. That's just humanity 101. That's how you function, I promise you. So get a class on the books, listen to this, get everybody to listen to this training, and make sure that this script gets to be second nature. I'm excited to be helping everybody do this. As Audrey says, the recording of this is only 25 minutes. So whether you're driving on a commute or doing the dishes or every morning, every evening, by the way, if you listen to this before you go to bed multiple nights in a row, that's an excellent way for it to just become embedded in your brain, because your subconscious will even work on that as you're sleeping. So if you have further questions, you can also put them in the group. Like if you come up with a question later, comment beneath one of the links to this training, and we'll help you out. We're here to make sure everybody knows how to use this and use it effectively. So thank you, everybody, and thank you especially to the leaders, to Audrey, to Kate, and to Donna for taking everyone through this and for spending so much of your time to make this happen. It was a really massive investment, and I'm very grateful to you guys and grateful for your leadership. So thank you. And good night.